else? Okay, sorry, I got more. All right, what's up, Impact? How y'all doing tonight? That wasn't loud enough. Well, I'm gonna take the candy away. How y'all doing tonight? All right, there it is. Where my middle schoolers at? Whoa. All right, where the high school at? Yeah. Woo. Okay, clapping. That's like golf. That's cool. All right, so tonight we have a game, but before that, I have a special announcement. Who's going to Summer Jam? Who's going to Summer Jam? I saw y'all in the back, and M&M's, I guess, just turned. All right, Summer Jam is, what is that, next Saturday? Next Saturday, May 22nd, 2 to 8. Who's going? Now you want to get out. Okay, who's ready for a game? Raise your hand if you want to play. All right, here's the deal. Everybody's going to play. Who's excited? Everybody has a chance to win candy. Who's excited? All right, go ahead and throw it up there. Y'all pay attention to the rules. All right, so you're gonna get your phone out or find a friend who has one, then open up your camera app. You'll have 25 seconds to freeze that moving object on the screen in the target. Everybody say in the target. Okay, you're gonna freeze it, and then you're gonna run up here literally as close to, or maybe even on the stage, and show me that it is in the target. Go Eagles. All right, everybody know how to play? No, but you gotta already sit in your seat. Nobody go ahead and creep off right now. All right, who's ready? Oh my gosh, who is ready to win some candy? All right, thank you, Ned. All right, everybody ready? All right, 3, 2, 1. And y'all will need to come right here. It needs to be in that frame. If it's off by a millimeter, sorry, it doesn't count. No, he didn't get it. She got it. Congrats, go ahead and grab one. Whoa. She already got it, it's over. She already got it. It's over, whoa, y'all, it is over. My gosh. All right, who wants to play again? Y'all getting loose now, everybody ready? All right, go ahead, throw it up again. This one is hard. She got it. She got it. Nobody come on, she got it. She already got it. You gotta just sprint, you gotta be ready. Yeah, she got it. I'm sorry. Just stretch out those legs. I don't know what to tell you. The front row is quick. Yeah, if you're in the very back, it's probably not going to work out for you. All right, let's go ahead and go to the third one. Oh, that is so easy. She got it. It's over. Somebody just got ran over. Is he still down there? Oh, he is still down there. I didn't see nothing. I did not see a thing. All right, y'all may want to start stretching if y'all are back there in the back. The front row is killing y'all. All right, y'all ready? We got a couple more. Go ahead. He got it. Wow. Y'all are burning calories at youth. That's right. Who's ready? I feel like a lot of middle schoolers have won. High schoolers, y'all need to step it up a bit. All right, go ahead. You're next. She got it. She got it. I'm sorry. She got it. She got it. Just to keep y'all entertained, who wants some animal crackers? Oh my gosh. They're not real animals, they're just the cookies. Y'all still know? Okay, there you go. Wow, wow. Yeah, I'm sorry. Nothing I could do about it. There's nothing I could do about it. Okay, go ahead, do the next one. Yeah, I'm sorry. She got it. Wow. She got it. She got it. Oh, I'll do a couple more. Shouldn't have said that. Okay, here we go. What are y'all doing here? I'm talking about Philly. Oh, y'all just gonna stay up here. Uh-oh. He's having trouble. No, I'm not taking that. I'm taking that. Just take one. Ned, I see you over there. Ned's getting ready. Yeah, I'm sorry. He was up on stage. All right, y'all go sit back down. Y'all, COVID, social distance, whatever. But get ready to run back up here. All right, go ahead. Wow. Don't come up here if you don't really have it. I don't think any of you are getting this one. Oh, Brad has it! Brad has it! Go ahead, Brad. Wow. Y'all middle school and high schoolers got showed up by an older man. No, he's not even listening. All right, we got two more. So easy. She got it.
It's because I'm a Bobcat.
I went in Northwest. All right, we got one more. Oh, you ready? All right. Wait, before you play it, y'all come on up here. Get up on the stage. Don't get on the stage. Let's try and get it. And first one I see wins. All right, go ahead. He got it. He sacrificed the phone. He threw the phone. You can't turn that down. All right, it's it. He got it. He threw the phone. He threw the phone. He threw the phone. All right, if y'all will go ahead and stand up, we're gonna sing with the band.
Man, you guys are rowdy tonight, aren't you? I love it. Get a little sugar high, all that good stuff. Well, hey, we're going to get things started here. So why don't everybody go ahead and stand up. Everybody go ahead and stand up. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to kick things off a different way than we normally do here tonight. But I heard it said, like, not too long ago about talking about the importance of the crowd and, like, how much we love to hear your voice. We love to hear you sing loud. We love to hear you scream. We love to hear you go crazy. So if we're going to get things started, we want to get things started the right way here tonight. So on the count of three, I just want everybody to let out the loudest scream that you have in you. Are you ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go! I heard like this side of the room, like a ton, but that's probably because I have a headphone in or whatever. Man, that sounds awesome. But guys, we're lifting our voice tonight, not just for the sake of getting crazy, not just for the sake of lifting our voice tonight, but we're lifting our voice tonight because we want to lift our voice in worship to Jesus, right? We want to lift our voice in worship to the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the name above every single name. So, with that being said, let's lift our voice one more time with the loudest scream for Jesus that we could possibly do in this place. On the count of 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3. That's a good one. That's a good one. You know, I heard it said like last week or 2 weeks ago that the voice of the crowd in worship moments, in worship music, is not something that's just a nice added benefit, but the voice of the crowd is actually something that is essential. Your voice is essential. You know, the most important voice in this room here tonight is not my voice, it's not Chris's voice, it's not the voice of the band, it's actually your voice. Your voice is the most important instrument in this room tonight. It's not about how well you sing, whether you sing on pitch or anything like that, but it's about how loud you worship Jesus, because you were lifting your voice, like I said, to the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the name above every name, the name that carries more hope, more love for you than any other name in this world. And that's exactly what this next song we're about to sing talks all about. And in this next song, it's the same way. Your voice is the most important instrument. We actually introduced this song to you last week, but there's a little part that I'm going to sing, and then I want you to sing after me, and we're all going to sing together. We're going to get loud. We're going to get crazy. You guys ready? Here we go. I'm going to sing, and you sing first. Here it goes. It goes a little something like this. His love will lead us home. You guys sing it loud as you can. Come on. His love will lead us home. You guys sing it loud. Come on. Sing. His love will lead us home. Oh, yeah. His love will lead us home. You guys sound so good. Let's sing this song together here tonight. Here we go. Seated I am above creation, your glory reigning over all. And still you stepped out of the heavens to be the ransom for my heart, bringing hope to all the broken. You're trading heaven if only for one. Your love came crashing through the darkness to pick me up and call me son.
Your love has captured my heart. Your blood has rescued my soul. No matter what may come, as long as there's breath in my lungs, my heart will praise your name.
Your
Glory brighter than a shadow. The King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. While I can't comprehend His love, the King still calls me His own. And His love will lead me home. Your love has captured my heart. Your blood has
soul. And no matter what may come, as long as there's breath in my lungs, my heart will praise your name. All right, every person across the room, why don't you get your hands straight up in the air just like this? From front, back, side to side. Get them both up. Get them both up. Come on, get them up. Get them up. You got them. And then put them together just like this. Yeah, keep that going. That sounds good. That sounds good. Keep it going. Now I want you guys to sing this with me. It's time to get a little rowdy, get a little crazy. Here we go. Sing this. Yeah. Praise to the risen one. His love outshines the sun. His love will lead us on. Yeah, you sound good. The King forever reigns. Break free from all your chains. His love will lead us on. Come on, sing that again. Praise to the risen one. His love outshines the sun. His love will lead us on. The King forever reigns. Break free from all your chains. His love will lead us on. All right, this is the part right here. Come on, let's sing. His love will lead us on. His love will lead us on. Praise to the risen one. His love outshines the sun. His love will lead us on. The King forever reigns. Break free from all your chains. His love will lead us on. His love will lead us His love will lead us Sing His love will lead us Sing His love will lead us on. Sing it all. His love will lead us on.
I was running wild, fell in love with the chase. I've been up and down and all over the place, wasting all my days and nights, never feeling satisfied. Putting on a smile, I was keeping it fake, but there's no imitating what I found in your grace. All the things I left behind are shadows, now I see the light. In my head, in my soul, in my heart, my all, I know that I know, never have I ever felt a love so good, so good. Never am I ever getting over living with you. Nothing will so good. I got a million reasons why I can't be the same. You got me looking forward, never turning my gaze. Forever, God, is you and I, together till the end of time. In my head, in my soul, in my heart, my all, I know that I know, never, never have I ever found a love so good, so great. Never, never am I ever getting over living with you. Nothing will change it. All I can say is never, never have I ever found a love so good, so great. Your love is great, your love is kind. Your love is never hard to find. Forever I am yours and you're mine. Alright, alright, oh. Never, never have I ever found a love so good, so good. Never, never am I ever getting over living with you. Nothing will change it. All I can say is never, never have I ever found a love so good, so great. Never have I ever known. Never have I ever known.
Come on, let's sing this out together. Lift your voice here. There's a grace when the heart is under fire. Another way when the walls are closing in. And when I look at the space between where I used to be and this reckoning, I know I will never be alone. There is another in the fire, standing next to me. There is another in the waters, holding back the seas. And should I ever need reminding how good I've been set free, there is a cross that bears the burden, where another died for me. There is another in the fire. Oh, there is another in the fire. Oh, come on my dead. On my dead, left for dead beneath the waters. I'm no longer a slave to my sin anymore. And should I fall in the space between what remains of me and this reckoning, either way I won't bow to the things of this world. 'Cause I know I will never be alone. There is another in the fire, standing next to me. There is another in the waters, holding back the seas. And should I ever need reminding, the power set me free. There is a grave that holds nobody, now the power lives in me. There is another in the fire. Oh, 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 bounds to Him. I can hear the roar in the heavens, out to space between where sin. I can feel the ground shake beneath us as the prison walls cave in. And nothing stands between us. And nothing stands between us. Come on, let's sing No Other Name. There is no other name but the name that is Jesus. He who was and still is and will be through it all. So come what may in the space between all the things unseen and this reckoning, I know I will never be alone. No, I will never be alone. There'll be another in the fire,
Standing next to me.
there'll be another in the waters, holding back the seas. And should I ever need reminded,
How could you be today?
I got the joy come every battle. 'Cause I know that's where you'll be. And I can see the light in the darkness as the darkness bounds to Him. I can hear the roar.
Lots of space between within.
I can feel the crowd
Shaking beneath us as the prison walls cave in.
and nothing stands between us. And nothing stands between. There'll be another in the fire, standing next to me. There'll be another in the waters, holding back the seas. And should I ever need reminding,
How could you be today?
I count the joy come every battle, 'cause I know that's where you'll be. I count the joy come every battle, 'cause I know that's where you'll be. I count the joy come every battle, 'cause I know that's where you'll be. Come on, just you. I count the joy. Cause I know that's where you'll be.
You know, no matter what the fire is for you in this place tonight, no matter what you brought into these doors, into this room, before you stood right here in this moment, it doesn't matter. You know, we're sitting in this series called Do Something. We introduced it last week, all about injustice. And we see injustice all across our world right now. But what I can tell you is that in the middle of the injustice that you see every single day, regardless of whether it's racism, whether it's bullying, whether it's, your friends don't accept you, whether it's, no matter what it is, in the middle of that fight, and I can tell you is that you are not alone. You will never be alone, because Jesus promises us that He is faithful, that He will never leave us, and that He will never forsake us. So right here, all of us in this moment, in the middle of the hectic world that we see, we can turn to Jesus. So in this moment, we're going to do just that. Let's sing that last chorus one more time, just all of us. Sing that with me. Yeah. There'll be another in the fire, standing next to me. Come on, lift your voice. There'll be another in the waters, holding back the seas. And should I ever need reminding how good you've been to me, I count the joy come every battle, 'cause I know that's where. Sing it again. there'll be another in the fire. Standing next to me, there'll be another in the waters, holding back the seas. And should I ever need reminding how good you've been to me, I count the joy come every battle, because I know that's where you'll be. I count the joy come every battle, because I know that's where you'll be. I count the joy come every battle, because I know that's where you'll be. Last time. I count the joy come every battle, because I know that's where you'll be. Impact, you sound awesome. Thanks for singing with us. You can go ahead and have a seat.
All right. So listen, it was the fall, winter of 1998. Yeah, a lot of y'all weren't even a thought yet. Your mommies and daddies, I don't even know if they're together yet. But it was November. It was a cold night. It was after basketball practice. My dad was taking me and one of my friends home. And my dad was always a very interesting driver. We're just going to put it that way. If you ask my wife, Whitney, who's hiding over there, she really loves attention. Everybody can wave and just say, hey, Whitney. She loves it. I love you, baby. You look so beautiful tonight. But we were, I wish I'd have met her then, but it took a little bit longer. But here we go. So we're riding home, and my dad's, I love you, Pops, but he's not a good driver. Like, he's not good. And I start ragging him a little bit about the ride home and just saying, Dad, come on, man. You're killing me. What's going on here? What's going on? And after we dropped off our friend, I picked it up to another notch. I was like, Dad, you were just like driving like Miss Daisy or something here. Like, this is terrible. Like, if Uber was around then, he would have been fired, right? Like, he would have had no shot. He wouldn't even be a school bus driver. And Pops, I love you. I know you're probably watching, so I'm sorry about that. But, well, eventually my dad had enough, and my dad pulled over in a neighborhood. And I don't know if it was because like he was swerving to miss a possum. Like, he actually tries to hit possums all the time. He still does to this day because he thinks they're like those little slimy things, greasy things. He doesn't like them at all. He also drives, I don't even know what that face was. I'm sorry about that, y'all. It was really bad. If I make a possum face real quick. Yeah, it was an ugly face. I'm glad y'all didn't do that, okay? Hey, but listen, like, and he pulls over, and it was either a possum or he was driving slow. I don't really know. But he cuts the car off. And he looks at me, and I'm like, what happened, Pops? Do we run out of gas? Like, we're still 2 miles from home, man. Like, why are you stopping here? And my dad said, here are the keys. You're driving. I was 10 years old. Right? Some of y'all in driver's ed right now, and like, y'all have kind of dodged the whole in-car part because of COVID. One of the great blessings of COVID, I guess, if you can call it that. But you know that feeling you get when you got to drive, and it's like, man, I'm really excited. This is awesome. I got adrenaline, but you also have like that first day of school nervousness like, ain't no way this is going to work. I don't know how in the world to drive. Like, I am so nervous, so afraid. I felt like I got a Cobra Kai kick, like right in my gut. And I was like, ooh, this isn't going to be good. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how to drive, Pops. And all of a sudden he hit me with the sensei, like, silence. And I was like, no, I'm just kidding. He actually didn't do that. Would have been funny if he did. But he was like, here you go, drive us home. I'm like, crud. So I get out of the car. I'm 10 years old. All the while, listen to this. This is great. There is an older gentleman. He's probably a grandpa. He reminded me of Grandpa Joe from Willy Wonka. Like, that's what he looked like walking around. He's walking this little schnauzer up the road here in the neighborhood. And he's looking the whole time, and he's like, how old people look, they're like, trying to look, as he's like, why is this little 10-year-old about to drive this big car? This was the car my dad had. a 95 Chevy Suburban. He drove it until like probably 2 years ago, literally when the wheels were falling off, and it wasn't white anymore, it was just gray. It was like a neutral color. And crazy, y'all, but like this guy's looking at me, Grandpa Joe's like, what is going on? And I'm just so afraid. Well, I get in the car, and I'm like, okay, open the door, check. Seatbelt, check. Seatbelts are so important. And now I'm like, all right, what's the first thing you gotta do? Take the key, you gotta put in the ignition, right? I put in the ignition and I'm like, all right, does it go up or does it go down? Does it go right or does it go left? I don't really know what to do here. I'm guessing up. Crank that thing and man, it revved right up. And I'm like, I got this. This is cool. Okay, Pops, I can do this. And then I put my foot right on the gas. Vroom. And it was like the arc, because the speedometer's not going anywhere. And I'm like, what's going on? The speedometer's not working. The RPM goes up to like 2 or 3. And I look at my dad, and he's like, so I'm like, all right, I got to rev it harder. I'm like, vroom. Y'all can help me, because I'm terrible at that sound. And it doesn't go anywhere. I'm like at 4 or 5, like 1,000 RPMs now. And he's like, I don't know, son. I don't know what you're doing. And the last time, I'm like, all right, that's it. Right, I'm like, vroom, all the way down. It's like at 8 or 9, like 1,000 RPMs in the red on the far left of the dash. Like, this is not good, right? If it would have been today, I would have probably wasted the entire tank of gas, which we can't do because we ain't got no gas, right? Like, it would have been a problem. And by this point, Grandpa Joe had his schnauzer, and they were up hiding in the bushes somewhere because they were so afraid. I'm like, all right, well, maybe it's the side. Maybe I need to mess like with some of these gadgets. Well, all of a sudden, I hit this button, and the lights come on. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Okay. Another one, the hazards come on. I'm like, that's not good. Another one, the windshield wipers start flapping. Boom, boom, boom. All of a sudden, windshield wiper fluid flies everywhere, and I'm like, Dad, I don't know what in the world I'm doing. I'm lost. I'm confused. I need some help. My dad finally looks at me, and he says, son, you're done. And guys, you know that's like the worst feeling when you got to tell your parents. Girls, y'all know it too. You got to tell your parents, like, they're absolutely right. And you need them so bad because you can't do something. And I was like, oh, yeah, Pops, I can't do it, man. I took the keys out, tossed them to him, so I could be absolutely sure that I saw everything he did at 10 years old, driving this tank around. When my dad gets out of the car, comes over, kind of laughing as he did. I think he was even skipping. I've never seen my dad skip before, you know. And he gets in the car, buckles up because it's important. He starts the car. And guess what he did that I never ever did? He put it in drive. He put it in gear. I was like, huh, the only thing I didn't touch in this car. I didn't know what that was. At 10. I'm like, man, so the rest of the ride home, I was like, Pops, please let me drive, let me drive, let me drive, let me drive. He's like, nope, you had your chance, had your chance, had your chance. Sorry. Huh. I was like, man, that was awful. I didn't know what in the world to do. I was so confused, so lost for that moment. Well, thankfully now I guess I can drive a little bit better. Whitney will tell you I still drive really, really slow like my dad. I do it because I like to have more time right next to her in her car where she's trapped. She can't avoid me, right? It's awesome, all right? But I realized something from this. I didn't know what in the world I was doing, and I felt so helpless. I felt so lost. And last week we kicked off this series called Say Something. We talked about injustice and what to do and how nasty it is and how messy it is. And we talked about how important it was, right, to love first. And I was thinking, man, after the message, talking with some of y'all, you guys were asking like, okay, how do I do that? What does that actually look like? Love first. How do I love first? How can I do it? Like, I get the idea of loving somebody who is treated wrong, who's treated poorly, who's treated unfairly, who's not being treated equal, and you're passionate about it and you hate it. It drives you crazy. It might still make you sick from last week, right? And seeing Irish's poop everywhere. Like, it is that nasty and awful. But you're like, what can I actually do to help with that? So Michael, that second slide, we have a question there. It's like, how can I actually love first? How do you really love others first? Is that possible? Is there a formula? Is this algebra? Is this a final for school? Hopefully it's not. No, it's not. We just want to walk with y'all and help y'all with this. And I thought the best possible way we could do this is, again, by looking at the life of Jesus and how he treated people around him. It didn't matter if they were Samaritans like last week, right? It didn't matter what they looked like. It didn't matter what their gender was. It didn't matter if they were popular or not popular, cool or not cool, smelled great or smelled terrible, right? None of that stuff mattered to Jesus because he said, I'm just gonna love first. So how do we do that? Well, I wanted to look at a story again from the book of John, chapter 8. And this is cool because last time we looked at chapter 4 of John. This week we're looking at John chapter 8. And if you're like, I don't really know how to love first, let's look and see what Jesus does in this situation. All right, Jesus is hanging out, and Jesus is hanging out with some of his friends, you know, and he's hanging out with disciples and having a great time with his disciples, right? And then all of a sudden he decides when he's hanging out with his friends and his disciples, he's like, you know what I really need to do? Thank you so much. What I really, really, really need to do is like get all my people together, come to the temple, come to church, we'll hang out, why not? Temple was like their church where people would come, they would gather, it was an outdoor seating probably. You know, they're hanging out and Jesus is just teaching, hanging out. Look at this in John chapter 8. All right, and this is where it gets really, really, really interesting about how to love somebody first. This is an awesome story. Jesus returned to the Mount of Olives, right? This is where he went away to pray. He went away because people are always around him. He returns to the Mount of Olives, but early the next morning, he was back again at the temple. A crowd soon gathered around him, and he sits down and he starts to teach them and talk to them and share about how awesome his heavenly Father is in heaven and how much his heavenly Father loves them and is for them and loves us and is for us regardless of our sin, our junk, our past, right? Whatever it is we're dealing with that's not fair, not right, not okay, like those injustices, God still loves us. Right? He wants to help with that problem that's around us, right? Those injustices. God is proactive in that. It's cool. This is great. But as he's speaking, this is where it gets crazy. The teachers of religious law and the Pharisees were the people who kind of worked with the Jewish religion there in the temple, right? They knew every single thing about the Old Testament. They knew every single law. They knew every single verse. They didn't even memorize verses. They memorized books. Whole entire books, like Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, Genesis 1 all the way through the end of the book. That was these guys. They bring a woman who had been caught in the act of adultery. All right, I know this isn't February, but adultery, right? Literally, she was having sex with somebody who was not her husband. Cheater, yeah, not good, right? As a problem, as the middle schoolers were loving this, okay? It was not a good situation. Right? Adultery was one of the worst things you could do back in Jewish law here. It was awful. It was dangerous. It was going to be an issue. And they take her and they throw her and they put her right in front of the crowd. Remember, Jesus is teaching the crowd. Imagine like if somebody was doing something they shouldn't do and all of a sudden like this is the worst thing they could do. Like this dude was just caught, you know, stealing or doing something he should have done and they throw him right here at impact on the stage. And they're like, hey, what are you going to do about this? Jesus is teaching, and this lady is dumped right there. And what's crazy about Jewish law, y'all, this is wild. The thing about Jewish law, they actually didn't do like witnesses of like he said or she said, you know, I heard this and rumors. You had to actually see it with your own eyes, get the person who did the crime, and bring them right at that point in time. So literally, this woman was probably dragged out of a bed, probably still had sheets on from the bed or whatever little bit of clothing she was wearing, dragged to the temple, thrown at the feet of Jesus. And it's about to get real. This crowd is crazy that brought her. They're like a grab your torch and pitchfork type of crowd, like we want some justice. Let's see what happens. Let's go to the next one. They say, teacher, this woman was caught in the act of adultery. Oh, Bob caught her. Yeah, he got her. He lassoed her and he drug her right. No, I don't know how they did it. Okay, it's crazy. The law of Moses, though, says to stone her. What do you say? Now, here's the deal. When they stoned somebody, they took huge, ginormous rocks like boulders. Is that your boulder? That's a nice boulder. They take big boulders and they slam them on people, like slowly, one at a time until they die. It is a miserable, awful way to go. And talk about injustice, something that's not fair, not right, not equal, not cool, is they only had the woman. It was actually Jewish law for men as well, but they only grabbed the woman at the time. Not fair. And they dump her right at Jesus' feet. This is what the law says. We got a stoner. We got our rocks. Come on, Jesus, right in the temple. This would be a great holy thing to do because she broke the law. What do you say, Jesus? Well, let's keep going to the next one here. They're trying to trap him into saying something they could use against him. But you know what? This is cool. Jesus decides to stoop down in the sand. He takes a knee. He wrote in the dust with his finger. I like to think of Jesus here as maybe building like a sandcastle. You know, he's like, all right, we're going to go here, do this. I'm going to put a moat around it. It's really nice. This crowd is so loud. They're screaming at him. Jesus, hey, Jesus, if you're really the Son of God, this is what the book says. This is what the Old Testament says. This is the Jewish law. Are you not going to follow this and abide by this? Like, if you're really the Son of God, you have to follow what God says, right? And this was the Old Testament. This is before Jesus, so all these laws and rules people were supposed to follow, and if they didn't, they'd be punished for it. Isn't it nice we have Jesus? Oh, my goodness. But Jesus is like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and just top this off. Let me do a little drizzle on this sandcastle. Oh, my goodness. A wave just came in. Bro, you just came and knocked over my sandcastle, man. Come on, dude. Jesus is down there riding in the sand. This is great. Everybody else is so mad, waiting to hear what Jesus has to say. And yeah, watch what happens. Let's keep going to the next one. The crowd's getting restless. The sea was angry that day, my friends. They were mad. They were just going crazy. They kept demanding an answer. So Jesus stands up again. He's up from stooping down, writing in the sand, and he stands up. And imagine how silent it got when Jesus stood up. They're like, oh, crud. Yeah, what did we do wrong? All right, he's not happy. He was writing down here in the sand doing something, and we messed up his masterpiece here, and now what in the world is Jesus going to say? This is really cool. Jesus stood up here, and this is great. All right, Jesus says, but let the one who has never sinned throw that first stone. If you're perfect, if you've never messed up before, if you've never done one thing wrong before, if you can sit here right here in front of me and say my entire life, I have never said a bad thing about my brother, my sister, my mother-in-law, right, my neighbor, whoever it is drives me crazy, my science teacher who smells like algae, like whoever it is, it doesn't matter. If I can never ever, if I can sit there and say I've been perfect my whole life and I've never gossiped and I've never told a lie, and guys will be like, I've never looked at something on my phone I probably shouldn't look at, you know, like, and girls will be like, well, you know, and I'll never compare myself to somebody else and want to look like her or look like them. If that's you and you've never done that, Jesus said, throw away. Let's stone her. Go ahead. And again, she's right here, sprawled out, probably with a sheet around her. And what does Jesus do after he says these literally 12 words? Jesus says 12 words. 12 words. And what does he do after? If you guys don't mind, I'm going to finish my castle here and just tidy this up and just make this whole thing happen, okay? It's going to be great. Like, Jesus went right back. He's like, yeah, I think you guys are going to just love it. And you know what's so cool about this is right after this happens, y'all, right after this happens, everybody starts to leave. And they're like, wow, Jesus guy, he said 12 words. They were powerful words. He wasn't playing. Check out how it finishes. When the accusers heard this, when the people who dragged this woman who was doing something wrong, who was breaking the law, who according to Jewish law should be punished by death by stoning, when the accusers heard this, they started slipping away like, one by one, gone. They vanish. They disappear, and they're into the backdrop. You know why? Only Jesus was left in the middle of the crowd with the woman. You know why they all left? Only Jesus was left in the middle of the crowd with the woman. You know why? Do you understand why, though? What would make them want to leave? Only Jesus was left in the middle of the crowd. They left because they knew they messed up so many times in their life. And only Jesus was left in the middle of the crowd with the woman. Again, this woman that everybody else wanted to kill. This woman everybody else wanted to stone. This woman who'd been doing something so wrong and was breaking the law and was not doing what she was supposed to do. She was cheating on her husband, right? If she was married or if he was married, she was, he was cheating on his wife, and it was wrong. And she was 1,000% in the wrong. She probably thought Jesus was going to say, yeah, hey, man, we'll just stone her, okay? No. Instead, Jesus is standing where? In the middle of the crowd with that woman. Why do we say that so much? Because you know where Jesus wants, I think this is relevant 2,000 years later, because you know where Jesus wants us to be? Get this, like Jesus wants us to be right there in the middle of the crowd with that woman. Everybody else around saying, you know what? Man, her behavior, what she did was wrong. I can't believe she did that. We're going to judge her. We're going to chastise her. We're going to say she's wrong. We're going to stone her. That's it. She's out. Over. Bye. No. She's like, hey, I'm going to love her. I know she messed up. Liesel, okay. Sarah, well, I hope y'all aren't naming people next to you. That's beat up, okay? All right, listen. And what Jesus is saying, he's like, you know what I'm gonna do? It doesn't matter. She messed up, but I'm gonna stand with her in the middle of a crazy, wild, ridiculous crowd. And the wildest thing about it, y'all, is what Jesus still wants us to do 2,000 years later. He wants us to stand in the middle of a crowd right now. He wants you, get this, this is cool. Jesus wants you to stand, right, and to be right in the middle of the crowd with somebody. I don't know who it is, but Jesus right now wants you to be in the middle of a crowd with somebody. There's somebody in your life, and maybe they messed up. Maybe they broke the law. Maybe they're doing things they shouldn't do. Maybe their attitude's terrible. Maybe that is true. Maybe this was a sin issue, a problem, but I think everybody has sin and problems in their life, so if we're honest. But I like to relate this to where we are right now in our country, in our community, with the injustice, with the things going on that are not okay, that are not fair, that are not right, right? The things that should not be allowed, that should not be happening. You know where Jesus wants us to be in that? Right in the middle. Right in the middle of the crowd. When everybody else is choosing a stance and choosing this or choosing that, and Jesus says, hey, you know what we're gonna do? I think it's great if you just stand with them. Stand with him, stand with her, stand with whoever it is. And we're gonna choose to love first. You wanna know how to love first? Then we stand. And this is where it gets wild right here. We love first by standing first. And you're like, hold on, are you taking a stance for what impact of the church believes? No, I'm not. My stance is not go out and just stand for all things. My chance is to go out and stand for loving other people, regardless of what they look like, or regardless of their sexuality, right? Regardless of their past, regardless of their behavior, right? Regardless of their issues, because we all have them. What would happen here if we said we're gonna love first by standing first? And what's fascinating about standing is this, y'all. It takes like, I don't know, the human baby, anywhere from like 6 to 11 months to like be able to stand. And it takes one of our very good friends in the tech booth, I think like 14 months to stand. But, you know, it takes a while for us to stand and to get somewhere. It took Iris and Everly a little while to stand, and they're typically pulling up on things. And my wife's a lot better at these dates than I am, so she probably knows exactly how long it took for them to physically stand up. But before you can run, before you can walk, you gotta stand. Yeah, but I can crawl. Yeah, but do you wanna live your life crawling? No, you gotta stand. And what's so cool, y'all, is I think it is so important for all of us, right? It's important to use our voice on social media. I think it's beautiful. I think it's great. A lot of y'all are standing for things on social media that you're passionate about, that you're fighting for, and I think that's awesome. Educate yourself with it. Stand with your voice. God gave you a powerful and a real voice that he wants you to share. Some of y'all are standing by, you know what, going to protest and saying, I'm gonna march, I'm gonna do this, and I think that's great too. Like nonviolent, peaceful protest and love, I think that is awesome. I think it's beautiful. I think it's great. I think that's a wonderful way to stand if that's what you want to do. But I think for all of us, we have to figure out a way really to stand in love. Because the scary thing is if we don't stand, yeah, man, there's gonna be some problems. I wanna show y'all something. The average human, again, it takes about anywhere from 6 to 11 months to start standing. All right, the fastest mammal on earth. I guess not fastest mammal on earth. Whoop, let me fix that, okay? Not the cheetah, even though I love the cheetah. The fastest it takes a mammal to stand as a baby. Anybody got to guess what animal it is? Gazelle, that's very close. It sounds very similar. Jimmy. Giraffe, who said giraffe? Riley, you the man. All y'all, you guys are beautiful minds. I love it. Brilliant, way to go. All right, it is a giraffe. And giraffe can actually stand faster than any other mammal. So giraffe and like a cow for whatever reason, but we're talking about giraffes here. And what's really cool about giraffes, y'all, I've got a video of a giraffe here. All right, being born, it's not nasty, stuff like that, but just check out how fast this giraffe has to stand up. You guys check out the screens real quick. That's beautiful. That's perfect. So how long did it take a giraffe to stand? 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Say half an hour. That's nothing. Giraffe comes out, is born. Mama's there like, come on, you gotta get up, you gotta get up, you gotta get up, you gotta get up. 30 minutes. What's wild about that is, what happens if they don't stand in 30 minutes? They're dead. They're gone. You got hyenas, you got lions, you got those prey, and I know a lot of y'all, I was fascinated with the baby giraffe. I heard about awws, which is great. It was very adorable and cute, right? But you see this, the reality is if the giraffe is not able to stand within 30 minutes, it's gonna be lunch for somebody. Right? They're gonna grub that giraffe like no question, right? They're gonna, like it's a Chick-fil-A drive-through. They're all around it, okay? They're hungry. If the giraffe does not stand, he's gone. So giraffes have a sense of urgency where they say, yo, I gotta stand. My life depends on it if I don't stand. And my challenge for us is what would happen if we had a sense of urgency for people in our life, right, who are being treated wrong, who are being treated unfairly, who are not being treated equal, who aren't even seen, who aren't even noticed, who aren't given the same voice that you have. What would happen if you had that same sense of urgency to stand with them? The crazy thing is, you might be like, well, yeah, but if the giraffe doesn't stand, he's gonna get eaten. And they're not gonna get eaten. People don't eat people. No, they do not. Cannibals, okay? They don't do that. However, I will say this right now, y'all have seen how high anxiety is. A lot of y'all are struggling with it. I was talking to one of y'all right before I came out here about her struggles, and we love you so much, and we are praying for you, all right? A lot of y'all are struggling so much with stress, with depression. Suicide rates are higher than they've ever been. Right now for our teens, it is terrible. What y'all are dealing with in middle school and high school right now is so loud. And you might say, yeah, but you know what? If the giraffe doesn't stand, he's gonna get eaten. Yeah, but you know what? If we don't stand for other people who are alone in the middle of a crowd, guess what's gonna happen to them? They might not be in the crowd anymore. They might just fade back in the horizon. And they might just think nobody cares about them, nobody loves them, nobody hears them, nobody sees them. What would have happened to that woman if Jesus didn't stand up for her and stand with her? She wouldn't be here anymore. She would be gone. Well, yeah, by now she's not here, right? But you get it. And the reality is for us, we might have people in our lives who are dealing with these things that you might not even think is a big deal. Maybe it's just a joke for you. Maybe you just think, yeah, they're okay. It doesn't bother them. This whole race thing doesn't bother them. You know, this whole sexism thing doesn't bother them. You know, this whole thing right now with, you know, the transgender thing doesn't bother them. Like, they're fine. You see them on the surface and they think they're okay. But the reality is on the inside, they are drowning in anxiety and stress and depression. And my challenge for us is, what would happen if we had the same sense of urgency to stand with people who are thrown in front of a crowd, to stand in the middle of a crowd with somebody? Last week, I challenged y'all to find a well, not a whale, a well, right? And this week, I really want to challenge y'all as well, because you're probably sitting here like, okay, well, how do I love first? By standing first. What does this even mean? What does this even look like? And Mike, I want to jump to this here if we can, right? What's the first thing you can do? Let's go right here for it. Find somebody in the middle of the crowd who nobody else sees, who nobody else notices. Well, I was supposed to do that last week. Did you do it last week? A lot of us, I know, like I've got to do a better job of finding somebody in my own life, right? That is in the middle of the crowd, that everybody else is pointing at and blaming. And I know that was a behavior thing. I'm talking more of an injustice thing, but we have people in our crowd right now, in our life right now, that we need to stand with. You know, Chris, I don't really know how to do that. You could ask them. You could have a conversation with them and be like, hey, I love you. You're my friend. I care about you. Or I see you sitting by yourself in a lunchroom. Or I see you sitting by yourself at Impact. I see nobody talks to you in small group. You can find somebody right there in your crowd, man, who needs you. You have no idea what they're dealing with and what they're struggling with. So the way you do it, man, you love first by standing with somebody. Find somebody in the middle of the crowd. You could change there forever, which is awesome and a real and a powerful thing. Second thing we can do, we can drop our rocks. Drop them. Drop your stones. Here's the deal. I have a picture. Michael, I'm going to make you jump to the stone picture. I know I'm hopping around. Thanks, brother. All right, these were like the pictures they would stone people with right here. These are big old rocks here. Big rocks they would stone people with. Big, powerful rocks. And I think for a lot of us, right? I'm not talking about judging people. No. I'm not going to go that way here. Where I'm going here is some of us need to drop our rocks. We need to drop our stones. You know why? Because we're carrying these things around, and we're like, yeah, I would really like to love them first. I'd really like to stand with them. I'd really like to support them. I'd really like to say hey to them. Ooh, but what would my friends think about that? If I say hey to that kid that doesn't have any friends and he's really not popular, you know, or if I actually invite her to come and eat lunch with us, instead of making fun of her and laughing at her because that's what the rest of my table's doing right now. You know, if I actually noticed him and it's like, well, I know they're struggling with some things in their own life, but instead of me acting like it's not there, I'm going to drop it and say, I don't care what my friends think. You know, even better. And another thing too, I think we have a stone sometimes. We're like, yeah, well, man, I wonder if I'll still be popular if I talk to them, if I'm friends with him, if I'm friends with her, if I'm cool with her. Well, I'm going to drop that because I don't care about that as much. It's people dying and people struggling with anxiety and depression and stress and suicide. Another thing that we also struggle with here too is I don't really want to go in the middle of the crowd with somebody, and this is kind of getting serious, but I don't really get in the middle of the crowd with somebody because you know what? If I actually stand up for them, man, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm standing for somebody in love, and what if God doesn't like what they're doing? That's a great question. I think the best thing you can do in that situation, you still love them, Ronald. Ronald, best thing you can do is you still love them. If you got to stand for somebody who's not standing for you. You know what you do? Say, brother, I'm sorry. I don't know why we have a problem, but I'm still going to support you. I'm still going to love you. And I'm still going to do the best I can to model that for you, you know? That's an awesome question, Ronald. This is a great question because that's reality, right? Yeah, give it up for Ronald. That's a big question. That's a tough question, standing right here in front of the whole crowd saying it. Yeah. So, yeah, do a bow, Ronald. Do a bow. There you go. I think for sometimes, y'all, that's the hardest thing. Our pride comes in, right? Our pride comes in. You're like, I'm going to stand, be friends with them. I'm going to stand for him. Hold on, the way they treat me, that's not cool. The way they talk about me, the fact they never, ever, ever include me in anything. They have birthday parties, don't invite me. They have sleepovers, they don't invite me, right? They have a group text, I'm not included in it. Yeah, our pride. That's another rock right here we need to drop. So, I got a few more, don't worry. These were, I got some rocks from Iris too. Whip brought them for me because Iris loves to collect rocks. She turns 4 tomorrow. A couple other rocks, but you know, a big rock I thought right now in my life that some of us might have. Some of us might be like, yeah, well, again, what if I'm standing with somebody and supporting somebody and loving somebody, even when what they're doing is wrong? Well, the Bible says you shouldn't do that. You know, and it's true. There are things behavior-wise that people are doing that's not okay, that is a sin. I'm not going to argue that. And I'm not going to stand up here and say that it is just okay to do. However, what did Jesus do with the woman right there? Caught in the act of adultery, when she was breaking the law, she was doing what the Bible said not to do, right? What did Jesus still do? Jesus said, well, I know we all got stones, but guess what? I'm still gonna stand right here with her, okay? Watch out for that rock. So what I think is so important for us to do, regardless of who it is, right? Regardless of the differences we have, it's so important for us, right? Impact in middle school and in high school, in college, as leaders, for us to figure out how to stand with somebody in the middle of the crowd, thrown out when everybody else is ready to toss them and say, I'm done with them. I want nothing at all to do with him. I don't want nothing to do with her. I'm over it. And the last way, really, I know that was a powerful one. Again, Ronald, thanks so much for the question. The last way is to be kind, right? Be kind. How do you really stand with somebody? Kindness. Kindness, kill them with kindness. It's crazy, I know it's hard. You gotta model it, especially if they don't share it with you. But kindness is real, right? Like, does that mean I have to be friends with everybody? No, it doesn't mean you have to be friends with everybody. Jesus probably wasn't best friends with that woman, right? From that point on, he probably never really saw her again. We don't really know what happened to her in her story. He told her to go and sin no more, but he still loved her. Y'all, kindness too, this is really real. This is a great question I had last week from one of our 6th graders. He said, how do I love somebody, right? How can I love them first when really they don't want to be my friend anymore? You know what you can do? You say hey to them. You can hold the door for them. You can acknowledge them in the hallway. Because listen, y'all have some cold shoulders, and you know how to put guilt trips on people, and you also know how to spread lies and rumors and gossip about somebody because maybe they hurt you. Maybe they weren't standing for you. Maybe they didn't support you, right? So kindness is so big, and it's so powerful, and that's how Jesus lived his life. So for us as a church, right, as followers of Jesus, I don't mean like building the church. As followers of Jesus, what would happen if we said, I'm gonna find somebody in the middle of the crowd? What would happen if I said, I'm gonna drop these rocks that make me feel like I'm secure enough in myself as a follower of Jesus where I should just love somebody and stand with them and support them regardless of what other people might think? And what would happen if you said, you know what? I'm gonna stand with somebody by just being kind to them, even when they're not nice to me. I know it's hard. I can only imagine. and it breaks my heart, man. But this right here, y'all, is exactly what Jesus did with a woman who nobody else wanted anything to do with. So, Impact, what would happen if we stood like some giraffes? That sense of urgency shot up real quick. It was like, yo, what's up? All right, here we go. I'm gonna love that person, be kind to that person. I'm gonna do the best I can to stand with them, to support them, to talk to them, to try and listen to see how they feel. Try and listen to see what can I do to help or support you or be there for you. Yeah, well, we're not friends, but still acknowledge them. I dare you, I challenge you to have those conversations. Because the struggles out there, y'all, it's real, it's loud, it's life. And just as real as the giraffes facing dangers, you guys in middle school and high school are facing so much reality. So let's do it. Let's figure out ways where we can really love first by standing first. And let's pray. Father, thank you so much for this awesome room of middle schoolers and high schoolers, God. And thank you so much for the example that Jesus set 2,000 years ago by standing with somebody who was in the wrong, who messed up, who was thrown at the front of the crowd because nobody else wanted anything to do with her. God, I just pray, Lord, that we can find somebody right now. If we can find our well from last week, we can find somebody right now who's in the middle of a crowd and has nobody with them. I pray that we can do the best we can to be kind to them, to love them. God, to try and just be there for them and with them as much as we possibly can. I don't know what that looks like for everybody. It's different. God, but please help us with that. And I also pray for those of us here right now and who are watching, God, who have struggled with this. And maybe they're on the other side of this. And it's so hard to try and love. And it's so hard to try and be the bigger person and set that example. It's so hard. God, I pray that you give them strength, that you help them. God, and you change people's hearts towards them. Please help us with that, Father, as a church to set this example, to love regardless, to love first by standing with each other. Thank you so much for Jesus and the love that he has for us and that he stood for me, he stood for each and every person in this room tonight. And help us to stand with that same urgency. We love you so much, Father. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. Hey, let's talk in 1 second, Ronald. Hey, listen, I'm going to get y'all to groups because I went a little bit over it. And I'm sorry, Ronald, come right up here and see me. I got a few fast announcements for y'all, okay? And here's the deal. Next week, we will not be meeting here. All right, we're not meeting here on Wednesday. And here's the deal. We're not meeting here on Wednesday for the very reason that on Saturday, we have our huge Summer Jam kickoff. It's a one-day camp that is kicking off summer. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait for it. We can't wait for it. Y'all listen, invite, and be sure to register up here. All right, invite your friends because whoever brings the most first-time guests will get season passes to Wet 'n Wild, right, for the summer. So high school and middle school have giveaways for both. Grayson, I got you in 1 second with a question, okay? That'll be awesome. We can't wait. And listen, guys, and then 2 weeks from tonight, we are also not meeting in this building. Why aren't we meeting? Because we're having our spring small group experience. So what this means is talk to your leaders tonight, figure out something fun that y'all can do together, right? Outside of the building, outside the church, have fun, get some food, enjoy yourselves, whatever that looks like, okay? But enjoy your time here with each other. Guys, again, challenge for tonight, go to group, have some fun. Hey, listen, find somebody. Remember, we talked last week. Find somebody that's in the middle of the crowd that you have an opportunity to stand with, to love, to be there. A lot of us need to drop these rocks, right? And we need to be kind. Let's see what that looks like here. And I'm challenging y'all this week. We love you guys. Questions, Grayson, Ronald, you guys come up front. Everybody else, go to groups. We love you guys. We can't wait to see y'all next Saturday. Peace.